Hi, I'm Alexandra Georgas. I'd like to tell you another story about my life and talk about mental illness, which I'm passionate about. My last name is Georgas. It's a Greek name. I'm half Greek. And you know, when I first saw the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I thought it was a documentary because, you know, it was so true. It's like, that's my family. On the Greek side, exactly. Every Greek Easter, we would walk next door to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and my grandmother would make huge mounds, platters full of food, just covering the table. She was ready to feed the whole village, practically the whole old country. And when you were at her table, she wanted you eating. She would stand at the end of the table, and that made her about eye level with us because she was short. And she had this big long spoon, and she would direct us. She'd say, "You pass, peas left, pass lamb left, pass bread, pass chicken, pass." So, you know, we were passing the food along because Grandma told us to keep passing it. Food was moving. And then she would scan the table looking for white spots on plates because she didn't like those. And if she saw one, she'd take that spoon, dip it in a bowl, and throw it on your plate. Didn't matter if you didn't want it, didn't matter if you didn't like it, you got it, and you had to eat it. I remember one time I was a little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old. I turned to my cousin Benita, chat, because I'm done eating. I looked back at my plate, there was a huge mound of mashed potatoes on it. I said to my cousin, "Where'd those come from?" She said, "Grandma." I looked to my grandma, I said, "Grandma, I'm full." She said, "You eat, you too thin, you're going to die." Oh man, that kind of scared me. I was a little afraid. So you better believe I ate those, and you know, I still got them near my backside, and I am not dead. Maybe Grandma knew, right? Now, Benita's dad, my Uncle Gus, who married her mom, was never quite good enough for my grandma, so she'd give him food, but she'd say, "You eat, you stupid, maybe your brain will grow." Nothing but love at our family table. Which brings me to my next subject, brain growth. That's something to think about. The Finnish, in Finland of course, keep great records on their people and have for many, many decades. And we've been able to learn a lot about illnesses as a result. In 1939, there was a 3-month war, and about 25,000 people died. The women who were pregnant at the time of their husbands' deaths, their babies later in life developed schizophrenia at a rate twice as high as the comparison group, which was the 1-year-olds. Isn't that interesting? Then later in 1957, there was a 5-week influenza just in the city of Helsinki, Finland, which I've been to, just through the airport. And 2/3 of the city was affected, showed signs of influenza. The women who were in their 2nd trimester, their babies developed schizophrenia at a rate much higher than the comparison group, which was the women in their 1st and 3rd trimesters. The 2nd trimester. What's going on in the 2nd trimester? Brain growth, brain development. I'll show you a chart about that at the end of this video. And so what this shows is that for some people, one of the factors that may be in their equation is what happened during the mom's pregnancy. Things like loss and death, and I would imagine if their husband passed, they might have trouble getting their needs met physically as well as emotionally, which could affect the baby's development. And certainly if they're very sick, that would also develop baby's development. And so this also shows that the parents didn't choose to give this illness to their children. With mental illness, we still have a lot of false beliefs that bad parenting causes this, or we blame the victim. Why don't they just change and stop being that way? We'll look at a homeless person on the street who's got a mental illness and we'll say, why don't they change? Well, if they're one of these people that had something disrupt their mom's pregnancy and their brain just didn't develop the way other people's, they didn't get to choose this. It truly is a disability for many people that really needs our sympathy, our love, our help, and our support, not our shame and not our scolding. So I hope this gives you some food for thought as you look at people who have mental illness. I hope you look a little differently and at their family members to be loving and supportive and caring. And that's it for today. God bless.